Hello, hello, hello again, Facebook world. Thank you so much for continuing to log in and asking questions just about Epic, what it is, and how it might be for you. Today, we are talking about teaching again and what the world of teaching in Epic looks like for all of you that are still asking questions about, can I still get hired on at Epic? And so that's what we're talking about today, getting hired on at Epic and what the process looks like. We've got an amazing panel of guests today. We've got Kyle Perkins back. He's the man with the master plan when it comes to hiring teachers. We've got Marshall Wade, who is a principal at this school, and we've got Amy Miller, who's a brand new teacher, coming to us to answer your live questions today. So before we get started, if you have been here and you've heard this spiel before, give us the heart emoji, because that means you're back and you want to know more. Maybe you're still hanging out and not taking that step, or maybe today's the day and you just needed one more answer. Give us the like button right now if you've never been here before, but you're really excited to hear what we have to say. Who's excited? Throw me the emoji, like or heart. Throw it in there. All right. Like I said, this panel is amazing. They're here to answer your questions today. And so I'm going to start off with some of the most frequently asked questions that we get from our teachers and our hiring department. But if you have a question that we can answer for you, please fill it out in the comment box and we will get to those questions. So the first question, Kyle, and I get it about every single day right now. Are we still hiring for the 2021 school year?
Yes, we are still hiring. We are hiring through all of our routes, which is our traditional route, which is Reg Ed and special education. Then we also, as you know, are hiring through our UTeach Reg Ed and through our UTeach SPED programs.
Awesome. And will you do me a favor? Tell us what your job is and how long you've been here. I totally forgot to let you guys speak.
No problem. I'm a regular on here. So I'm Kyle Perkins. I am the Director of Talent Acquisition, and so I oversee our hiring process for all of our teachers right now.
Awesome. And Marshall, who are you to Epic? How long have you been here? What's your role here?
Right. So I am Marshall Wade. To Epic, I am a principal, a Reg Ed principal. I am starting my third year as a principal here, and I've loved every day, every minute, every second of it.
That is awesome. And I'm so excited. You and I have gotten to work together in the past, and I just love the innovation that you bring here. It's awesome. And thank you for being on the panel. Amy, you are new to Epic. You're one of our new hires. Tell me where you came from and what made you decide to take the jump to Epic.
Yes, so I am from brick and mortar. I taught kindergarten, and what brought me to Epic was I wanted more flexibility with my schedule. I have a son that just started school, so I wanted to be able to have that flexibility for him. But also I have a sister-in-law that has been an Epic teacher for 3 years, and ever since she started, she's been like, you need to do Epic, you need to do Epic. And so she convinced me, and so here I am. I just started this past July, so I'm still pretty new, but I'm loving it, and it has been absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Yolanda, you're so sweet with your comment. Kara, thank you. If it weren't for you amazing parents answering questions with some of these within some of these Facebook groups, I don't know where we'd be right now. So thank you for everything you do as well. Don't forget to type in your question if you have one. But I'm going to go now back to the frequently asked questions. Marshall, what is your role in making sure that teachers are prepared for their first year of school?
Gotcha. So I think that it's important to note that for Epic, it's really not just a one-person task. It's not just a principal gig by itself. We also have an important group of people called DTDs, Directors of Teacher Development, who are just instrumental in that process, really hands-on with getting our first-year teachers ready from the day they show up, their start date, and beyond. So I always like to start there. Kudos to them for all their hard work. We like to partner with each other just to make sure our first-year teachers get the best possible experience. Some of the things that I like to do just on my own is I like to try to impress upon our first year teachers the importance and the value of building relationship first. I always say that that's one of our first priorities before we do anything else. Learn your families, learn your kids, and then really build that up before we do anything else. After that, one of the things I really find valuable is establishing some type of routine, and that's different here. The routine that we had in brick and mortar is not the same type of routine that we have here. So being able to help our teachers change that over and deal with the differences between, if they came from brick and mortar, their previous experience to what we've got going on now. Exposure to Epic culture is another thing that I think is really crucial, especially once our teachers start. The Epic language and Epic acronyms are always one of my favorite things at the beginning of the year, because there's always a 3-letter acronym for something at Epic. So helping kind of make that make sense is an important part of my job. And really the thing that I enjoy most is being a place of psychological safety for my teachers, being a safe haven and a refuge for them as they go through their year and have their highs and challenges. That's part of my job, and the job that I take really seriously is being that person, being that place of safety.
Awesome. Thank you
Did you
so
guys
much.
hear me
That was a
now,
great
or
Devon, you're here. I'm so
show me what to
glad
do?
you were able to make it. So one more person joining us today. Devon is a brand new, started Monday, you teach reg ed teacher. Am I right in that, Devon? Are you there? All right. So he started on Monday, and I'm really excited. I hope we get his sound working so that we can ask him a few questions as well. But we've already got a few questions coming through, and so I want to be able to get to some of those. Tamika wants to know, is there training for teachers in the area of online resources? And I think that that's a great question, Tamika, especially given that we are such a virtual community. And I'm going to let Marshall take some of that. But not only are we training teachers here, we're still training other school districts in the online resource capacity. So Marshall, will you talk about what the training looks like for a teacher learning some of these tools?
Sure. So I think I can answer this question a couple types of ways. Just speaking internally about some of the things that we do, we have an excellent training program that we call Epic U. And Epic U really takes our teachers, new teachers, veteran teachers, teachers that have been here for a while, takes them through some of the online resources that we have, whether it's curricula or ways that we're using other programs to impact our curricula. Really, one of the first things that we focus on is Epic U. Also, another thing that we're starting to discuss, and I believe, and Kyle might be able to speak to this, I think this is on the application, about being Google Level 1 certified. And that's one thing I like to talk to my teachers about, is just being familiar with that and using that as a resource as well. So we have a few different ways that we like to do it internally, externally, and it tends to really work well for our teachers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Amy, you're new to this. Do you feel as if you're getting the adequate amount of training in these online resources and how to do the model? I mean, when was your hire date?
July 20th. Yeah, July 20th was my first day. And I mean, I really feel like we have been given so many great resources. When I talk to Marshall and when we get to have our monthly meetings, I'm always telling him like how incredible it is to feel so supported. Not only do we have like the Epic U's and those kinds of trainings on like the curriculum and the platforms and everything that we use, but if I have a question, or if I have something that I'm not sure of, I have like 5 different people that I can reach out to, that I feel comfortable to reach out to if I have a question. Like you mentioned earlier, we have our DTs. I have him, my principal. We have awesome like group me's that we've created, and Voxer, and different like platforms that we use that we can ask, that has like veteran teachers and new teachers that are kind of all mixed within one area. And so like if I have a question, I can shoot that off to them really quickly, and they are really fast to respond. And so I feel very like incredibly supported, and I feel like I have a great way and path to get to those answers if I need them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Kyle, the next question I'm going to give to you. Kara wants to know, when completing the case study interview, how long would EPIC like each executive summary to be?
Yes, an executive summary is a page length, and so I'll keep it short and sweet. When going through that, you want to give as much info as you can in research as you can. I believe we're asking for references now on that from where you got your answers. But yes, we've changed an executive summary for You Teach to be a 1 page in length for each question, double spaced, and which is why we give 2 days to return that back to us.
Okay, great. And then let me see here. Jamie has a couple of questions. And Jamie, these are great questions and questions that I'm answering regularly right now. So the first question is, how are teachers evaluated? And so I've spoken with several people who are interested in coming. They want to know, do we use the Tulsa model or the Marzano model for evaluating teachers? And I was like, no, girl, we do not. We have actual monthly communications that principals have with their teachers. So you are getting feedback all the time, not randomly on a set day. And then every day you can have contact with your principal to ask questions and get feedback on conversations and processes and ways of doing things. So official evaluation forms are not for EPIC. We have true, valuable, meaningful feedback regularly, not some blanket evaluation. Marshall, do you want to speak any more to that?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts about the job, honestly, being able to meet with all of my teachers scheduled every single month and discuss that informal and formal evaluation every single month. I get to learn more about my folks, about their families through that than I think I ever would doing Tulsa or Marzano or just any specific on paper type of evaluation. So that is incredibly valuable lifetime information that I continue to use throughout the year.
Yes. And Jamie has a follow-up question. She wants to know, are you required to have a certain number of students on your roster? And Jamie, the short answer is no. However, we are hiring full-time teachers. Full-time is more than 16 or more students. And so that would be about the minimum that you would have on your roster. But for a first-year teacher, we try to keep them in the sweet spot. The sweet spot here is 35. So this is getting longer and a little more in depth, but there is no required number other than we hire full-time teachers to teach here, and that's a minimum of 16 students. Let me see. Joni wants to know, can you describe a typical day for an EPIC teacher? And so, Amy, how about during the summer month, July and August? What does that look like for you?
So to start, I mean, a lot of it was doing trainings and team trainings and things like that. With
Okay, in the course of things, when you're live, anything can happen, and there we went. I think we just had an internet blow up. So here we are again, and I thank you for tuning back in. We still have those questions, and so we're still going to get to those questions. I don't know where we left off, Amy, where it cut out, but you've been doing ILPs and benchmarking right now. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. So we started by meeting our families, getting to know them, and then setting those ILPs, getting all their curriculum ordered, technology ordered, and then once you do that, then getting all of your benchmarks done. And so we're doing that virtually and getting those knocked out, and then that way we can start planning to see where our kiddos are, know what standards they're confident in, what standards they need more work in, so that you can start building the plan to get them ready for the first day of school, start getting all their logins ready, and what we call our PLPs, start getting those personalized plans all together. So that's kind of what my day consists of.
Awesome. And having been a 5-year teacher in this model, past the summer months of prep, you get into the teaching and you schedule sessions with your families based around availability. And so you make a commitment with that family when you're going to meet up and what you're going to do. And then you cover the standards. You just teach these kiddos. So beyond the summer months, it's all working around families to make sure we get all the standards a kiddo needs in the given year. Let me see. Jessica wants to know, what are some of the requirements to become an EPIC teacher? And Kyle, you're back. I'm going to start with saying having passion to teach is definitely one of them. Being somewhat tech savvy is definitely one of them, because we are a virtual school, and I'm not sure. It looks like Kyle may be out again, but basically we want driven, self-starting teachers who can come in and take the bull by the horns and then go on and do what you need to do and do what you know you need to do for those kiddos. Kyle, what kind of requirements do you look at for teachers that are trying to apply here?
Yes, so a couple things obviously you need for our traditional route. You need the certification. You need a certification of any kind to be able to apply. We do, of course, check references. Marshall hit on it earlier. We do look for the Google certification. That is, it's not a requirement, but it is it will benefit you greatly to have that, just even going through our interview process, not to mention once you become a teacher. But requirements for the UTeach program. So to be admitted to the UTeach Reg Ed, you need a bachelor's degree from an accredited college here in the United States. And then for UTeach SPED, you need a bachelor's degree and a cumulative 2.75 GPA.
Thank you very, very much. We've got another question from Nicole. She wants to know, are you able to have your own children under you as an EPIC teacher? And I think you said own, because they all become our children. I totally feel that. The answer is yes, if you want to manage that. I did have my own children on my roster, and there's a learning curve to it, Nicole. If you've been homeschooling for a while, maybe it won't be such a learning curve. I came into this as a traditional teacher, and then coming into this world and keeping my own children on my roster, like learning how to navigate being a mom and being a teacher at the same time is hard. And I had to remind myself that some of the discipline techniques I was using for my own children were not the discipline techniques I was using on other children. And so I had to put myself into check for some of that. I found myself being the teacher that I hated as a kid. And so I would say that there is a learning curve to having your own children on your roster, but it is a possibility. Carrie wants to know, sorry if you've already answered this, are you hiring regular ed teachers right now? Is there a process for getting certified for this? I know the UTeach program is for special ed. And Kyle, can you update her on how we're doing UTeach now?
Yes, UTeach is not just for SPED. It did start out that way, but now it is also for the UTeach Reg Ed program. So what that does is we work through the American Board program, and what that does is that gets you emergency certified and able to teach right away when you're here. So no matter what you're going through, you can go through UTeach Reg Ed, you can go through UTeach SPED. That is not a problem at all. Like I said, you just need the requirements I mentioned earlier, and you're good to go.
Awesome. So let me see here. Regina wants to know, I have 2 children and 2 teachers. Is this normal? Both are middle school. And so Regina, if that, there are a couple of reasons you might have 2 teachers. One of them might be on an IEP and the other one not, and that could be a reason. But if you want both of your kiddos to be on the same roster, just choose the teacher that you're looking for, provided the requirements are taken care of. If there is an IEP in place, choose the teacher and we can make that happen for you. It doesn't have to be that way. Some people prefer it to be that way. So it's kind of up to you, Regina. Just have a conversation with your principal or your teachers. Jessica wants to know, what's the talk about EPIC not being credited if they go back to public school? Jessica, that is a fear tactic that the brick and mortar schools are using. And I'm sorry if you had been told that. I apologize so much, because we are an accredited public school recognized by the State Department of Education. All of our credits are transferable. If your kiddo earned the credit, they will have it on their official high school transcript, because we are a public school. So I hope that helps. There are lots of different fear tactics going on right now, because, I think enrollment is down in several places across the state. And so just misinformation, really. You might not hold them to it. Who knows whether they are, doing this knowingly, but it's all false. Joni wants to know, I'm a certified Reg Ed and special ed teacher. What does ed teaching look like with EPIC? Joni, great question. Come on, girl. We'll take either one of those certifications, first of all. So in EPIC's model, every teacher gets a roster of students, and each student is set up with an individualized learning plan. And because you're special ed certified, you know that there's an IEP out there that each special ed child is placed on. Here, every child in our school gets an ILP, an individualized learning plan. And so you would treat every student, kind of as if they were in special ed. You would accommodate based on their learning needs, based on their multiple intelligences, and based on the preferences with curriculum and all kinds of things. So, Joni, if you need more information, ask us and we'll get you more, but I hope that answered your question. Stephanie wants to know, what about teaching assistants? And Stephanie, I don't know if you're asking if you can be a teaching assistant. We don't have a teaching assistant at this point yet. We keep our roster sizes pretty low so that we don't have to have the need for something like that. Shy wants to know, what if you have no bachelor's degree, but you still want to be an EPIC teacher? Shy, that's a great question too. Unfortunately, right now, we can only take people with a bachelor. Before we opened up the UTeach program, you had to be certified teacher in order to teach here. Based on the State Department's teacher shortage task force, they've opened this up and allowed programs like UTeach that Kyle and Dr. Keeney are bringing to EPIC to kind of help navigate the waters of teacher shortage. And I'm so pleased we have. But as of right now, the bachelor's degree is a minimum requirement. Okay. Let me see here. Great questions coming through. These are totally awesome. Amy, how many people are walking alongside of you in this process right now?
So people that are like joining me and helping me along the way, is that your question?
Yes.
Okay, so I have my principal, I have my DTD, I have my other new teachers that are joining with me, and then we have a community of other teachers within our team that are there to help and support me. So, I mean, handfuls and multiple people that are there to help me along the way.
Awesome. Awesome. And Tamika, I see your question just got answered on the live. Very good. So on top of me giving answers, we've also got a great team of people coming in on the backside to help make this happen. Just so you know, everybody throw up your heart emojis right now for Phil Cross, who facilitates this entire program, letting us speak live to you like this with all of us in different portions of the state. So throw those heart emojis in there for Phil Cross, and then throw your thumbs up in there for Serena Watson and Brandon Beard, who are feeding me the questions that you are asking right now and also answering some of the questions through the comments. And Serena will go through and answer those questions all week long. Thank you so much to everybody behind the scenes. I see sometimes I get all the props, but there is a team of people working on this. So I just want everybody to know how much we love and appreciate. Oh, Tamika, your question is not necessarily answered. I want to make sure I get to it. Is there a base salary for teachers? And then how do you get a bonus? That's a great question. There are a couple of different base salaries in this model. Kyle, I see you kind of squirming. Do you want to answer, or do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak to it if you'd like for me to.
Go for it.
Good. I'll let you follow up and wrap it up. But so there are a couple base salary packages that we have. Every new teacher comes on has the option to get paid per student, which is the traditional base pay that we offer. Then you also have your base pay, which is a $35,000 for Reg Ed that starts you out at $35,000 base pay. So that means if you're coming in from another district and you weren't getting paid, basically this is our way to ensure a smooth transition if it takes you a little bit to receive students here at Epic. Then once you hit that threshold that equals or exceeds how much you would make with our traditional model, which is per student, you're then taken off of that. And that way you're getting paid more. So since you're on the one-to-one model of getting paid per student. SPED is the same thing, no difference. Now the only difference is you teach SPED. You teach SPED comes on with the base pay of $40,000, and the same thing. They get that base pay until it equals or exceeds, and then they're taken off of that. As far as the bonus is concerned, Aaron, I'll let you wrap up with that.
Awesome. So we do have a bonus structure in place. It has been adjusted to accommodate for a few things. Performance is typically one of the big things people are asking about when they talk about those bonuses. But the bonus is structured in several different ways so that it's not 100% on a state test. And that's most of the time whenever I hear people kind of asking about bonus, they're like, but not every kid passes the state test and this is a sham and yada, yada, yada. And so there are different components for each of the bonus processes and ways to earn that. But it is up to a certain amount based on how many students you have. And so we provide a bonus here for following our processes and making sure you do your job well. A lot of times the last teacher to leave the building is also the first teacher to arrive in a building, and depending on how long they've worked in that building, they may not get paid extra for that. Here, we really reward our teachers to go above and beyond, and those that do find it a very rewarding platform here. So I hope that helps. Okay, I want to make sure we're honoring our time again, guys. Please, if you're watching this later, go ahead and ask those questions. We're going to get in there. We're going to answer your questions. We will be back again on Friday answering more curriculum questions for you. So please come back if you've got questions as it regards to curriculum. And thank you so much to our panel for being here. You have answered these questions like rock stars. I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you for making Epic one of the top places to work and definitely one of the top places to learn.